People are not lazy. They simply have impotent goals, that is, goals that do not inspire them. Nothing makes a person happier than having a happy heart. The beautiful journey of today can only begin when we learn to let go of yesterday. Everyone makes mistake. Type of mistake gives the perspective of seriousness. There are some choices you can only make once. You can't go back to where you made a choice and then take the other one. It's enough for me to be sure that you and I exist at this moment. You are in danger of living a life so comfortable and soft that you will die without ever realizing your true potential. Tragedy and adversary are the stones we sharpen our swords against so we can fight new battles. Regret is mostly caused by not having done anything. Keberuntungan yang berlebihan selale min gundang danki. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. I have a dream that one day little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls. True success cannot be achieved until you have experienced failure. Tourism, human circulation considered as consumption, is fundamentally nothing more than the leisure of going to see what has become banal. A stone is heavy and the sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. The whole house seemed to exhale a melancholy breath of emptiness. Life is like an onion. You peel it off one layer at a time, and sometimes you weep. As long as you can use your hands, the world is your oyster. Never let your sense of morals prevent you from doing what is right. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to reform. This is what comes of having a heart, even a very small and young one. It causes no end of trouble, and that's the truth. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. If you have the guts to be yourself, other people pay your price. Every single time you help somebody stand up, you are helping humanity rise. You are always a young magician with your own methods of creating your own world. A man may die, nations may rise and fall, but an idea lives on. Ideas have endurance without death. Your heart is the size of an ocean. Go find yourself in its hidden depths. Fear is the polio of the soul which prevents our walking by faith. Never compete with someone who has nothing to lose. In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on. We come spinning out of nothingness, scattering stars like dust. You can't dwell on what might have been done, and it's not fair to condemn him for something he hasn't done. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. The most confused you will ever get is when you try to convince your heart and spirit of something your mind knows is a lie. The reason I talk to myself is because I'm the only one whose answers I accept. We could never learn to be brave and patient if there were only joy in the world. My life will be the best illustration of all my work. The choices we make dictate the lives we lead. As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. I wish you all very good lives. Something deep inside calls us to adventure and to brave the unknown. There is a bit of wilderness within all of us. Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. Faith is not like a raincoat, only to be worn on drizzly days. Hope is not a feeling of certainty that everything ends well. Hope is just a feeling that life and work have a meaning. One does not question miracles or complain that they are not constructed perfectly to one's liking. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. I want words at my funeral, but I guess that means you need life in your life. Through synergy of intellect, artistry, and grace came into existence the blessing of a dancer. The selfish man suffers more from his selfishness than he from whom that selfishness withholds some important benefit. If my work has a theme, I suspect it is a simple one, that most human beings are inescapably alone, and therein lies their tragedy. Do no harm and leave the world a better place than you found it. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. Thoughts become things. If you see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand. Better to die fighting for freedom than be a prisoner all the days of your life. Be happy in the moment, that's enough. Each moment is all we need, not more. Argue for your limitations and, sure enough, they're yours. Integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's watching, and doing as you say you would do. Nobody is so busy that they can't make time for the people they really care about. Prepare yourself for success. You have to see it coming to get there. Successful people tend to become more successful because they're always thinking about their successes. Temperament is just an elite perception of who you seem to be right now, not who you will ever be. This body is fragile. It is just flesh. Listen to the heartbeat. Life depends on the pumping of a muscle. Real life is messy, inconsistent, and it's seldom when anything ever really gets resolved. It's taken me a long time to realize that. What the mind can conceive and believe, and the heart desire, you can achieve. To live greatly, we must develop the capacity to face trouble with courage, disappointment with cheerfulness, and triumph with humility. There is no respectful way to deliver a truth, Peter Ojo. Growing up is losing some illusions in order to acquire others. Once you bid farewell to discipline, you say goodbye to success. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Above all, never think you're not good enough. Never think that. In life, people will take you at your own reckoning. The fundament upon which all our knowledge and learning rests is the inexplicable. Martha, truth or illusion? George, you don't know the difference. George, no, but we must carry on as though we did. Martha, amen. Simple the life, simpler will be your instincts. The laws that govern universe will obey your simplicity. For I have trained myself, and am training myself always to be able to dance lightly in the service of thought. Time puts everything in its proper place, and whatever is misplaced is already on the way to where it belongs. Life is a dream from which we all must wake before we can dream again. Perhaps the rare and simple pleasure of being seen for what one is compensates for the misery of being it. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. It is hard work and great art to make life not so serious. Leaning forward in your chair when someone is trying to squeeze behind you isn't enough. You also have to move the chair. Feeling guilty does not set us free. Being equipped sets us free. Nobody realizes that some people expend tremendous energy merely to be normal. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. One lie has the power to tarnish 1,000 truths. If you believe in destiny and its special magic, do not ever feel that the pain you carry is going to become real. You never know when the truth will come home. You can't choose the time. The time chooses you. Maybe this is why we read, and why in moments of darkness we return to books, to find words for what we already know. Cunning grows in deceit at seeing itself discovered, and tries to deceive with truth itself. People's lives take them strange places. They do strange things, and, well, sometimes they can't talk about them. And when all the wars are over, a butterfly will still be beautiful. Before I can become an expert on anything, I must first become an expert on me. I failed to communicate, that's why I chose to leave. One who makes himself a worm cannot complain afterwards if people step on him. As the questioner, you have the natural advantage of control. If I don't find sitting at the feet of Jesus the most glorious place in the world, nowhere else will meet my expectations of wonder or beauty. If you believe, you can, but work hard to believe. Representatives of truth. The champions of truth are hardest to find, not when it is dangerous to tell it, but rather when it is boring. There are some experiences in life they haven't invented the right words for. Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. The most total opposite of pleasure is not pain but boredom, for we are willing to risk pain to make a boring life interesting.